going on, everybody? My name is Michael Weer, and today we are ranking the Conjuring universe. There are 8 movies in the Conjuring universe, 3 of which are Conjuring movies, 3 of which are Annabelle movies, and 2 are results or events that happen because of other events and results of the previous 6 movies. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about this because this series has some great horror movies in it, some great horror moments in it, and it has some really bad ones. So it's exciting because we get to rank these worst to best. Let's do the list. Coming in at number 8, guys, The Nun. Now, The Nun is my least favorite movie in the Conjuring universe because it is the most disappointing movie in the Conjuring universe. The Nun, or Valak, in Conjuring 2 is a terrifying villain and used very well. The Nun makes a slight appearance in Annabelle Creation when they were gearing up to put the Nun out, and then there was an after-credits tease, I believe, in Annabelle Creation for the Nun. And so I was really excited to see the Nun. I was like, oh, let's do it. This is going to be great. And it just kind of falls flat the whole time. The movie isn't very scary. There's a lot of jump scares in it, but that doesn't make a very scary movie. Like, afterwards, you're just like, ugh, jump scared me too much. Like, that's what I felt. And then the movie cast Tessa Farmiga, who is Vera Farmiga's sister. Vera Farmiga plays Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring movie, so when they cast Tessa Farmiga, who looks almost identical to her, I was like, oh, they're gonna make Tessa Farmiga like a distant relative who dealt with the Nun before, and that's why she's coming after Lorraine Warren. Like, that's a really cool idea, and then they don't. And I don't know if that was ever the plan, but they scrapped that completely, or they just never did it. And they're just like, yeah, I know she looks just like Lorraine Warren, no relation. It'll be all right. It'll be fine. So I've talked about this movie enough. The Nun is number 8. Coming in at number 7, guys, the next movie, it's a disappointment, but it's better than The Nun because at least this movie is self-contained, and that is The Curse of La Llorona. Now, they did screw up because they didn't market this as a Conjuring universe movie. It was weird that they didn't. Like, the movie didn't do as well as it probably could have in theaters because they didn't market this thing as the Conjuring universe. I knew it was the Conjuring universe because I'm on top of movies and I love all this stuff, but like, there was no notice to the general public like, hey, if you liked Annabelle, if you like the Conjuring, you're gonna like La Llorona. That's not necessarily true either because this isn't the best movie, but you get Tuco from Breaking Bad and he's not in a ton of stuff, and you get Velma from Scooby-Doo. I can't think of her name. Her name is Linda Cardellini. There it is. And she's also in the Avenger movie. So yeah, you get a few characters in this movie that are played by people that I actually like. There is a moment of Annabelle in this movie that's kind of cool. But yeah, The Curse of La Llorona, just kind of a meh movie. And the storyline in general, where like, oh, if you think about her, she'll come after your kids. I don't know. A lot of jump scares. Again, at number 6, guys, we have the original Annabelle. This was the first Annabelle to kick them all off after The Conjuring did so well. And really, the first scene of The Conjuring set the tone for the whole movie. It was excellent. And it was Annabelle, right? They had this doll, and they showed what the Warrens can do for people. Well, that doll did so well, they're like, give it its own spin-off series. We've gotten 3 of those movies so far. This is the lowest rank on my list because it's just forgettable. I don't know. There's a lot of jump scares again, but it's nowhere near the level of excellence of the first 2 Conjuring movies or Annabelle Creation, which actually came after it. So, Annabelle, but I got this cool steelbook, and the inside's got her creepy ass face. So yeah, Annabelle, number 6. At number 5, guys, we have The Conjuring Part 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Yeah, this movie was just weak. I don't know, something about the ending villain being a human that was just kind of doing witchcraft wasn't as scary as, say, like a demon that was after them. It was different for sure. I liked everything that had to do with the courtroom. That was awesome. So if there was more of that in this, that would have been great. But yeah, there just wasn't enough of that. They kind of skipped over the courtroom stuff. Like, I thought we were getting another exorcism of Emily Rose, but this time with the Warrens. And I was like, oh, okay, that's going to be really cool. But we didn't get that. We got like gloss over the courtroom aspect of it and then right back into the haunted house aspect, and it just didn't flow as well as I wanted it to. I really hope there's a Conjuring 4 with Ed and Lorraine Warren coming back one more time, just because I hate that the series went out on this low note, for me at least. At number 4, guys, and I'm going to be honest with you, from 4 on, I really like these movies. I just do. So at number 4, guys, we have Annabelle Comes Home. I believe this movie, if I've only seen it once, when I saw it in theaters. I bought it and I haven't revisited it yet, but I do remember that this is right after they got the Annabelle doll for the first time and they're going to put it away. Like, that's where it starts, and there's a really cool graveyard scene. Like, anything with Ed and Lorraine Warren in the series is usually really good, especially around the Annabelle doll. The other thing about this movie is they tried to set up multiple different spin-off movies with this, and I don't think any of them ever took off, but there was a lot of really cool demons and monsters that came out of this horror movie, and I was like, oh man, by like 2025 we're gonna have 10 more Conjuring universe movies. And what's sad is we haven't gotten anything. Nothing since Conjuring 3. Not even a word on another Conjuring movie. So, I don't know. I'd like another Annabelle movie if it's more in the vein of what they did in this movie or what they did in Creation. I feel like they could, but we'll see. Next up, guys, at number 3, we have The Conjuring 2. Conjuring 2 is terrifying, and I love the twist in the movie. So you got this girl that's on the front cover. She's seeing this monster, this demon. She's not sure what it is the whole time. She's got Ed and Lorraine Warren trying to crack the case, and then eventually everyone thinks she's lying. But she's lying because the demon is making her lie. That's what's so good about this movie. I really like this movie. Get toward the end of this movie, the fight they have with the nun. Oh, the nun is terrifying in this movie. Again, why the nun, the movie, was 8th on my list was because there was so much built up potential from this movie that was just thrown away. And that's too bad because this really made a difference. At number 2, guys, we have Annabelle Creation. This is my favorite of the Annabelle movies. Obviously, it's number 2, so it's almost my favorite of the whole franchise. They do an excellent job building tension in this movie, and also they do pepper in some jump scares, but the jump scares are always earned. And there's also just graphic moments in this. I remember the dad has a cross at one point. He's holding it up to the demon like, I'm going to stop you, and his fingers just snap back. Oh, it's terrifying. I remember seeing that in theaters and then just walking out like, oh, thank God it's bright outside. But yeah, every time I've watched this at home, I have to like leave the lights on a little bit afterwards. So it's genuinely scary, in my opinion. Finally, guys, we have The Conjuring, the original one. This movie, hide and clap. Anybody who's seen this movie, if you tell them hide and clap, that automatically brings terror to them because they're thinking about that moment where the lady's looking for it and you see these 2 creepy ass hands come out of a cupboard and they're just like, that's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. And now that I have little kids, like I didn't have kids when this movie came out. Now that I have kids, they are terrifying anyway. But if they were to do this kind of shit, we would have to figure out a new situation for them. Because this movie, like I said, I loved the opening for this movie with Annabelle. Again, the opening is so good that it kicked off a whole franchise of Annabelle movies. Then you've got the Ed and Lorraine Warren. You've got the family that moves into this house. I love how they set this movie up. I love Lorraine Warren in this movie is so good, and her visions are so scary. Like, I feel like with the other movies in this franchise, you kind of know what you're going to get as way as jump scares go and lore and mythology. But in this movie, it was original, it was new, and it was something that was so damn good. The Conjuring, not only is it my favorite in this franchise, but it's top 5 of all time for horror movies for me. And that's my ranking of the Conjuring universe. Guys, if you enjoyed this ranking video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the share button if you want your friends to see it. If you've seen any of these movies and you want to put your thoughts and your comments in the comment section down below, or hell, if you've even seen all of these movies and you've got a ranking list 8 to 1, well, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And finally, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. I got a lot of content coming your way, including a Friday the 13th series that is currently running. So if you're just finding my channel for the first time, I'm doing a Friday the 13th every Friday from now till I'm done with the series. I'm excited about it. I really have enjoyed doing them so far. You can go find those. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. So I'm at my desk editing this video, and I just realized that I never said, hey, my list is not going to match your list. And on YouTube, if you create a list and you don't say, hey, my list isn't going to match your list, then people get in the comment section and they're like, what are you doing? I wouldn't have ranked that there. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Just throw your ranking down there. Our lists aren't supposed to match. So that's your after credit scene. If you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong about where I ranked stuff, just let me know where you would rank stuff. I don't care. Also, Vicky Vale. Yeah. I don't know, figured I'd throw her in there. I just changed it. It's July 2nd. I was like, oh, I got to change my calendar. It's from 1990. None of the days are right. But it's Vicky Vale. She's there. Yeah.